Welcome to the interactive body balance radio show for health and fitness tips.
All right, here we go. Welcome back to Interactive Body Balance Radio. I'm your host, Mike Dasick, and thank you guys so much for joining our show today from around the world. You know it, where we talk health, fitness, nutrition, and personal development. All right, hope you guys are doing well. I believe the show is going to air on Actually, no, it's going to be December, I believe now. December 2nd, 2021. Almost Christmas time. And fun time with family, friends, all that good stuff. Getting out, enjoying all kinds of beverages, of which one may be coffee. So, I want to do a podcast today on, is coffee good or bad for you? Right? Why do I do these shows? Like I said to you guys, I've had this question probably five or six times already this week. Not the last of which was last night. So I said, let's do a show on it. I did a show on this probably 4 years ago on coffee and caffeine and all that good stuff. But I want to share with you guys what I see in practice. So what I've been seeing with people, what does the data show, right? How do people respond to it? And that's the genesis for the show. So is coffee good or bad for you? So I'm going to start off by saying this, and you guys might not like it, but it's the truth, because again, I'm working with thousands of people. You get to see it. It depends on a few factors. So I see roughly it's half, folks, roughly 50% or so do well or do okay with coffee, and the other 50% don't. Right? So it can be 52, 48, but roughly half can do well with it, and roughly half don't. And there's, a few reasons for that. We're going to break down coffee, though, into a couple of components, right? There is caffeine, which is predominant in coffee, as everybody knows, and let's just talk about the coffee bean. There's other areas, and there's other molecules, and lots of other points of interest for coffee, but let's focus on the caffeine, and let's focus on the coffee bean, right? And how it's digested in your body, and how it's absorbed, and how it works through the body. So, remember what I said about roughly half. There's also a gene in your body, right? Let's talk about caffeine first. Most widely used drug in the world, right? Does many things for you. In adenosine, I've talked about it before. Adenosine normally slows down your brain's activity and induces sleepiness. By inhibiting the adenosine, caffeine causes levels of the other neurotransmitters to rise, like epinephrine, norepinephrine, and adrenaline. And we actually test for those with people on our different labs, not the least of which is the Dutch lab, or the Dutch panel. But when we're talking about genes and the genes for caffeine, it's the CYP1A2. It's an important enzyme that helps break down toxins in the body. It's also a key enzyme responsible for metabolizing caffeine. And so like I said before, it's processed. Caffeine is metabolized by the enzyme and in the liver, and encoded, again, with the CYP1A2 gene. And again, 50% of the population has a variant in the CYP1A2 gene, and they become slow processors of caffeine. So what else does the CYP1A2 do? Again, major caffeine metabolizing enzyme, for sure. Hormones including melatonin, estrogens, bilirubin. I see all these in labs all day long. It's helpful with metabolizing drugs. I don't need to get into that because we're not talking about those, but you guys get the point. Tylenol is one, for example. Clozapine is another one. MDMA. You guys know what that is, or maybe you don't. Look it up. And other toxins, right? So CYP1A2 gene. Some people are fast metabolizers. Some people are slow. And I've run my lab, and I'm a fast metabolizer of it. So I know I ran a genetic test, the Utriens test. You guys can reach out to me. I can give you the link for it. It's a great company. I ran mine, I think, 2 or 3 years ago. So I know what I can do with caffeine, which is obviously in coffee. Okay, for the slow metabolizers, though, folks, who don't have, a good, I guess they're slow metabolizers of the CYP1A2 gene, they can have some of these issues, okay? Risk of heart disease, potential risk of hypertension, potential impaired fasting glucose. You guys get the point, right? Coffee's also, known with the caffeine in it to increase your stress hormones. Stress hormones, adrenaline, cortisol, they can have a negative impact on your microbiome, decreasing some of the beneficial bacteria like lactobacilli strains, and also potentially promoting the growth of other harmful microbes that increase inflammation. We run labs on people to see if they can process coffee or if they can't, based on their microbiome, based on all the different pathways. It's really important, folks, to understand that. We talk about oxalates. Our coffee's high or low in oxalate metabolisms, pathways. And why is that important? Different types of coffee, for example, like Insta coffee is high in oxalates and other ones aren't so high in oxalates in coffee. And I've looked at the research on both, right, with oxalates in coffee, and it's conflicting, but a lot of them do, agree that like the instant coffee is not really good for oxalate metabolism and all that great stuff. So then we get to, I know it's a lot, but just follow me through it. Now, is it the bean or is it the caffeine? So we already talked about caffeine and being able to process it with the genetics, and or do you have good pathways, to process the coffee, and of course the caffeine in it. Beans, folks, the coffee bean does matter, and there's different types, as you know, roasted beans. There's so many. There's beans from all over the world, like Brazil. I've talked about different ones before on previous shows. Different oils are used in the processing of it. I got many friends that are real good at making coffee and understanding coffee, but at the end of the day, you've got to get good quality beans. There's also a lot of talk these days, about different types. Ganoderma coffee, I've talked about myself, I believe, before, coming from the extract of Ganoderma lucidum. Look it up. You've probably also heard of reishi, right? So in lingzai, other ingredients and different types of medicinal mushrooms. What I'm trying to say is the coffee bean does matter, and the type and the quality of the bean matters. I literally did an entire show on it, so I don't want to go into it again. But always seek good quality beans. Look them up, refer back to the other shows. I'll gladly point you in the right direction, because if you can handle the caffeine and if you're getting a good quality bean, right, there's good evidence to suggest that coffee does stabilize blood glucose levels. It could potentially help curb sugar cravings. It could also help you with other things like brain-derived neurotrophic factor, BDNF. I ran that lab as well. I know what my BDNF numbers are like, and if I'm a good proponent for it, right? So think about that. It can trigger the mechanism in that brain that releases the BDNF. Really good. And again, BDNF activates, brain stem cells, converts into new neurons, expresses itself in your muscles. Really important to know, right? So again, coffee has some really good effects, not the least of which some people gives them a lift, right? An energetic lift. So look at that, folks. Break it down to the caffeine, break it down to the bean. The genetics matter, right? So, can you handle it? Do you have the proper pathways to handle it? Couple labs that, I've run on myself. So I've run the Dutch, I've run a gut panel, and I've run my genetics. So I know how I relate to all this. Does everybody need to do that? They're like, Mike, forget that. I'll just drink it and see how I feel. Do I have runny stool? Do I have gut problems? Or do I feel great? That can work too, folks. That can work too over time. I'm a guy that's driven on data. I'm a guy that's driven on, let's see the labs. I'm a guy that says, let's see what's going on inside of you. Again, so many patients, folks, that we run these on. I can't tell you how many. It's just unbelievable. I think many dozens, maybe 2 dozen in the last 2 weeks, maybe a dozen a week. I don't know. I can't even keep up. The days just keep going by, especially with my angels running around getting excited for Christmas. But if you're thinking about coffee, you can look into it to see if it works for you at a data level, at a genetic level. Very helpful. You can test, you can reach out to us, and we can help you. info@mikedasiuk.com. info@mikedasiuk.com. You can go to the website, which is mikedasiuk.com, interactivebodybalance.com. You guys get over there and get any information. We're on social media. Send us a link or a like or a follow. Or we like to connect with the audience. Mike Dasiuk or Interactive Body Balance on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. And I know we got to get our YouTube channel going. We used to do it when I was a personal trainer. I used to train all kinds of clients. We used to do all kinds of YouTube videos. And we got to get back into that now with the functional health, because I can't tell you how busy it is with so many people looking to improve their condition and become a top performer. that is what they want to do, and I support them through that, and this is what I help them with. It's what I love to do, team. Okay, I already said all that. Guys, head on over. But I'm going to tell my kids every day, my angels, number one, you got to work hard. No substitute for hard work. Put in the work, folks. Really put in the work. You have to do the work. Number two, you have to add your skill set or value to this world. Each one of you has unique gifting. You have to give it to the world. I consult with so many people, and it's the best part of the consultations or the meetings with them is hearing what they're good at and sharing it with the world. Three, help other people. Pull the chairs, open doors, give up your seat. I always say this, give of your time. So volunteer where you can, give of money where you can. So charities, try to make it an effort every single day to give to a charity, at least weekly, right? And I'm going to do more of it because I think Jim Rohn's quote, right? Keep improving who you are and what you give. Number four, smile and have some fun. All right, take some time, enjoy life, just love and have some good times with people and friends, especially this holiday season. It's been a tough couple years for so many people, and I want you to go out and have some fun. All right, that's your God-given right and your ability is to have fun and live life. Good, clean, wholesome fun. Laugh, giggle, party. I don't care. Enjoy. All right, live with passion, live with purpose, live with intent, team. Any questions, you know where to reach us. Share the show with people who need it. I can't tell you enough times when I consult with one person, like Mike, I never knew this kind of testing exists. I never knew you go this deep. I never knew about what was out there from a personal development standpoint. Well, if you don't know and you don't share, then that's on you now, right? Because you know where to go. And I've got a million different mentors I respect and I go to as well too. So I'm always learning so I can bring the best to you guys. I hope that makes sense. And again, even when I'm training, I have my headset on learning. Even when I'm doing stuff with the kids, and if it's, just driving in the car and they're quiet and they're doing their stuff, we're learning. We want to get better. Team, take care. We'll talk to you guys real soon.